This is chicken stock I made yesterday for Rafa, and then I've put it in the fridge overnight to try and skim the fat off. I haven't done this one yet. These ones I've done the best I could, and I've made them into large ice cube sized portions. And the reason I've done that is, number one, to keep him entertained for longer, and number two, because I heard that regular sized ice cubes can be a choke hazard for dogs, and that I would believe. So all I did to make this was put a whole chicken, and I got the most free range, cruelty free chicken I could find, and put enough water in the pot to cover it, and basically cooked it for an hour. And then towards the end I put in some chopped up carrots, as he liked carrot. I let that cook for a little while so they'd soften. Once that was done, all I needed to do was take the chicken out, and I took as much of the chicken meat as I could, avoiding the chicken skin and the bones, and just put it back into the soup because I'm not going to eat poached chicken. I am a bad vegetarian. I prefer to eat a vegetarian lifestyle, but lately I've been a bit rubbish. And this I'm going to use, like on some of these ones, these large ice cube size ones, I'm going to use on hot days to help keep him cool, but today's not one of those days. But also my Toppls arrived, and so because they don't have the hole in the bottom of them like a Kong, I'm actually going to be able to put some liquids in there and freeze it and kind of layer these up for him. So I think what I'll probably do today is do layer one and put some kibble and some chicken soup, chicken stock in there and put it in the freezer, and then when I need it for Monday I can start layering it a bit more with an egg and some other good stuff. But he had a little bit of this soup this morning for breakfast with his kibble, and he's devoured all of the broth but not really much of the kibble, but that's pretty normal for him. He eats his breakfast in stages. But yesterday when I was cooking this, he was pestering me for it. So it does seem to be nice and stinky, and he seems to really enjoy this. And it's a nice, healthy, salt-free option compared to normal chicken stock. And it's a lot cheaper than buying chicken stock for dogs in packets. So I've got Rafa's Toppls here, and the chicken soup / chicken stock has frozen in there. It's frozen on a bit of an angle because I had to tip it in the freezer so that it didn't run out through here because my freezer is fairly full. And I've got a variety of things here that I'm going to put in the Toppl, and I'm going to give him one this afternoon as a trial because tomorrow I'm off to the wombats, and so if I can give him one of these and he can happily stay outside, that would be the best possible outcome. But generally when he's outside he just cries and cries and cries, so I can't leave him outside. The only thing he hasn't had before from this group of foods are these little fish. They are Icelandic herring and they stink, but that probably means that he'll really like them. He chose this piece of cod when we were at Pet Barn the other day, and I haven't given it to him yet because he just has such a sensitive tummy, and every time I give him something new he gets diarrhea, and regardless of whether I give him anything new or not, he always overshare, has stinky poop, and it's always a bit soft. Which is why I have popped rice in with his wet food. So I've just got his canned wet food and put some rice in there to hopefully help with this, and that is why we are keeping everything else to a minimum and to only things he's tried before. So I'm going to start with the rice and wet food, and I'm going to stick a carrot in through here to plug the hole, and then I'm going to be putting things like an egg in there, and then I've got a little bit of ripe banana, and I've got an apple if I want to put that in. Depending on how he goes with this, I'll probably try this preservative-free applesauce in the future. He does like apple. I just don't want to give him too many new things all in one go, because then if he gets an upset tummy I just can't tell what it is, and To be honest, I'm starting to think that the bacterial infection they all had as puppies might have created IBS in him. Anyway, so let's get this done. So first thing first is to jam as much of this in the corners as I can. I've got to remember to leave room for the egg. So I actually might take a little bit out because I don't want to end up with raw egg everywhere. I'm just going to smash that down as much as I can. I'm going to chop the ends off this little carrot and jam it in. He quite likes carrot, although when I give it to him I usually end up with tiny little bits of carrot all around the house. But that's okay. So then I'm going to, oh, that's very full. Abort mission. So that did not go as well as I had hoped. So this is my first time using these Toppls, so I guess a little bit of mess is to be expected. And we'll just pop that back in. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of kangaroo jerky on top. 2 or 3 frozen blueberries. And a little fish. And I'm going to have to jam them in as far as I possibly can, just because of the spatial issues in the freezer. And then I'm going to have to freeze this one because it's pretty full. So this might be a bad idea to fill the second one because there isn't a lot of room in the freezer and that other one is very precariously balanced. But off we go. Try, you fail, you learn something. We don't make the same mistakes next time. It's all good. Here we go. I'm going to put the egg in a little bit earlier this time. Much better. A few little treaties. And then I am going to put, I'm just going to use my finger for this. A little bit of banana up the top on this one, just a tiny bit. And the unfortunate side effect with this one is that because the carrot is not as good a fit and because I haven't jammed in as much wet food and rice, I'm getting a bit of egg coming out. So I think I've probably got a bit of a learning curve with how to use eggs in these, but that's okay. So in the freezer it goes.